Hello, everyone. In this lesson, let's make our log outputs look nice during development. For this, we need to modify our logger, specifically the Winston part. So right now we see here that we have a console transport, and the format is just JSON. Let's play around with this. We have two options. We can change the transport during development or change the format. Let's just play around with the format here. I'll insert the code and we'll go through it. So, our format will depend on the host env. If our host env is local, it should be nice. If the host env is not local, it should be JSON. So, let this be the rule. Now, let's write the code. It looks scary, but it's not a big deal. Okay? So if our host env is not local, like production or something else, we simply return in JSON. But if we are local, then here's where we start doing our thing. We call format, passing in a function. This function receives log data. It has some predefined type by Winston. Let's do it like this. I'll install the necessary dependencies and show how it looks in the terminal in our logs, and then we'll figure out how exactly it works. We will need some libraries. The following libraries are needed. PicoColors, a tool for displaying colors in the terminal. Triple beam, something needed to modify our Winston log. And YAML is used so that our data is output in YAML format because it's more readable than some JSON. All right, besides these libs, we will need types. Well, let's wait for the installation. Okay, good. And let's include the types installed. Waiting. Okay, types are installed. And now we need to import everything. Good. So, the types aren't complaining. Let's look at our backend now. These were the success messages in Express. They will become these. Here we have info, yes. If there was an error, it would be an error. Then our Express tag, timestamp, and the message itself. You can see how it would look with additional metadata. XXX 123 y:array 1 2. Well, I don't know. Maybe some Z. Yes, it will work. If we output something like this, we would see a message in the following format. Very convenient to read, very easy to perceive. Good. And if we ran it with host env production, we would see JSON. Yes. Let's demonstrate this as well. Host env, say production. And once again, the logs became messy. But again, these logs need to be in JSON format for them to be sent to some external service we'll connect later. Good. All right, switching back to local. And let's go. Delete our mess and sort out our logger. So, the structure for setting colors. We'll use it later to set the colors of this info express, as well as the colors of our timestamp. Okay? Our timestamp color will always be green. So here in this line, PC is P. Pick colors. So, we take green and pass it into the text. That's it. It will be displayed in green in this line. And this info express might be, for example, blue in case of info, and red in case of an error. If we use the debug method, they would be turquoise. So, this needs to be determined based on the log level itself. Here, look, level and type. We just lay out a line where level comes first, so the line info, then log data, log type. This is what we pass into log type, and in this case, we passed express. That's the kind of line we have, and our task is to color it. To color it, we call the setColor function, and pass what needs coloring. How does setColor work under the hood? it simply chooses one of the functions from PicoColors. If the log data level is determined here, and the log data level is info, the info function is chosen, and the string is simply passed to PC_blue. If error is chosen, the string is passed to PC_red. If debug is selected, then to PC_cyan. Good. This is how we simply define its color. That's all. This is the color of the log level and log type. All right. Then a space followed by a string with a timestamp. Then EOL. EOL is just a new line. And then the log data message, directly listening to add. Well, in this case. Anyway, any message. Then we take, let's say, visible message tags, namely all of them from the log data that initially came to our, well, Winston. Exactly. Except for the level, because it's not needed there. We've already separated it. Log type isn't needed there. We've separated it. Timestamp isn't needed. We've separated it. Message isn't needed because we've separated it as well. Service isn't needed because during local development, well, we already develop locally. Why do we need to know the service's name? It's redundant for us. Just like the host env, because we simply don't need it in the logs here. That's it. And thus, we got all the other information. And all the other information is exactly our meta. Here it is. Here, that's it. Meaning in the meta, well, in the visible message text is what we need to display below the message. Various additional parameters. Then we pass them through YAML, like this. In Lodash, we call trim to cut any white space at the start and end of a string. And we call YAML stringify, passing that specific object. Here, there might be a situation where we encounter functions, so it doesn't write anything inappropriate and doesn't fall into any cyclic dependencies. If we encounter a function, we simply output the text function. Otherwise, if it's not a function, we return the content of that value. That's all. So here, it essentially starts saving just like this. And we need to return some resulting log data, which will be displayed in the transport console. And like this. We form it here. We have log data, that is, what initially got there. So, but in the message itself, it seems we insert the following. What is the message? This is exactly what we get it from TripleBeam. So under the hood, Winston is structured to require doing it this way. All right? So into this key of the message array, we substitute the following value. Here we have a string, which is formed as follows. Top message. Top message. This is exactly what we have here. Info express, timestamp, and the message itself. So this is our top message, the first element of the array. And then we might have a situation where there's nothing in the visible message text. That is, object case there equals 0. Yes? And if there's nothing, fine. If it's greater than 0, it means there's something there. Then we make a line break and insert this text, so. But if there's nothing there, we don't insert anything additional. So, in this array, we always have top message, and possibly some additional information about our extra date, or an empty string. Then we do a Boolean filter on this array. What is a Boolean filter? It's the same as a filter, where there's a value, like this, v. It's the same thing. So, a Boolean is also a function. It's the same thing, and you can write it shortly like this, and the same thing will happen again. So, we just get all our strings here except empty ones and then join them together into a single string. Finally, we add a line break at the end so that each log is separated by this extra empty space. That's it. This is done once, so to speak, in a lifetime. Then it is copied from project to project, and it will be convenient for you to view your logs during development. Yeah. So we made a nice log output during local development. Thank you all. Let's move on.